Have you recently bought a pre-construction condo or townhouse here in the Lower Mainland? Well, if you did, you better dig up your contract and take a look at it, because there's a very good chance that you just bought a whole lot more than you bargained for. Quite literally, because there's a chance that within that contract that you signed with the developer, that they've inserted a clause where they can charge you more because of, yep, you guessed it, inflation. And I'm going to tell you all about that right after I ask you to please inflate the like button for the YouTube algorithm to help me get this information out to other pre-construction purchasers who don't know they may have a bigger bill coming down the road. While you're at it, please subscribe to the channel if you would like to stay up to date on my market here in Surrey and the Fraser Valley. And of course, you can download my Informed Buyer's Guide right now down below in the description with just a few simple clicks. And now with no further ado, let's get on to pre-sales and how you might kind of be screwed and not even know it. And no, it's not your fault. I was first made aware by this possible problem in your contracts when a real estate lawyer by the name of Tony Spagnolo sent out a mass email to a bunch of us real estate agents after he was made aware of the potential problem. And to explain things, I'm simply just going to read you the email. Subject line: price adjustment clause in pre-sale contracts. Good morning, everyone. For all those involved in helping clients purchase new strata units, we have recently seen a price adjustment clause in the pre-sale contract. Without getting into all of the details, if the building construction pricing index rises more than 4%, the developer has the right to raise the price by the amount over 4%. Just one more item to warn potential buyers when they are considering a purchase of a strata unit yet to be built. Sounds alarming, right? Well, it should be. You see, developers have often written contracts that favor them rather than you, the buyer. Sometimes this is for minor unforeseen reasons that may result in changes. For instance, most developers reserve the right to change the size of the unit by up to 5%, meaning that if you bought a 1,000 square foot unit off of the blueprint and you go to move in and the unit itself is only 950 square feet, well, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Well, it turns out in those pesky and sneaky developer contracts that some developers are now inserting a clause which protects them against inflation, and specifically inflation on their construction costs. To do this, they are referring to something called the Building Construction Pricing Index. This is a measurement provided by StatsCan each quarter to measure the cost of building certain types of homes and commercial properties in specific areas. Basically, it kind of works like this. Back in 2017, the cost of building each type of home and in each area was set at a measure of 100. Then as costs change in building areas and construction types, so does the number relative to the original. So for example, at the start of the pandemic, Vancouver sat at about 114 when Edmonton was just over 107. Fast forward to today and Vancouver is now over 139. But get this, Edmonton, one of Canada's most affordable cities, is now over 153. It's crazy to think, but yes, indeed, it's actually cheaper to build in Vancouver than it is in Edmonton. But it all makes sense when you read that the index includes things like materials, labor, and equipment, and actually excludes things like land costs and real estate. But that's kind of beside the point. What you need to know is what Tony was pointing out, and that is if that index increases more than 4%, then some developers have it written in their contracts that they can charge you that amount over 4%. And to tell you the truth, I don't really know what those numbers mean for your pocketbook or exactly how they're calculated, but I can tell you that with inflation running at between 6 and 8%, there is a very good chance that this clause will come into play now. And if it does, the property that you already bought at a fixed price may actually increase in value by the time you go to close.
You mean increase in purchase price?
Yeah, I guess that's what I mean. The purchase price itself will increase, but what is unclear is when is that 4% calculated from? Is it when you signed on the dotted line? Is it a quarter to quarter basis or year over year calculation? So what I'm left not understanding is when exactly does that calculation start and stop? Because looking at the numbers, the index was 133.9 in Q4 of just last year, and already in 2022, it's 139.7, a difference of 5.8, or if my math is correct, a 4.33159 increase. And also unexplained here, I'm sure it is in the contract, but unexplained here is what costs are being passed on to you. Is it simply the extra cost of the building materials themselves, or is it going to be a straight percentage tacked on to your purchase price? Well, to be totally honest, I'm not a big fan of pre-sales and never really have been, so I don't have any clients that I know of in this situation currently, and I have not seen a contract that has this clause. So unfortunately, I can't give you the specifics, and each individual developer could write this clause differently. But if you have bought a pre-sale property that has not closed yet, you better dig up your contract from deep within your email and check if your contract has this clause in it, because that steal of a deal pre-construction that you bought may not be such a deal after all. And now, well, if you decide that you need to sell that unit as a result, you can book a call with me right now down below in the description with just a few simple clicks at a time that works best for you. Please remember to subscribe, click the like button for the YouTube algorithm. This video and others can now be heard in audio version on podcast apps everywhere. Check out another video before you leave the channel, and we'll see you in a couple of days.